Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know this angle is like super weird, but I'm just gonna film the first part of this video like this. This is gonna be my first ever reading vlog, which I'm really excited about because like obviously I've never done one of these before. But I have the book. I haven't even looked at it yet because I've been like waiting for this moment, you know? So you obviously know from the title what book this is. But I'm crazy excited about this. And it is The Legacy by Elle Kennedy, obviously the newest off-campus book. Wow. It's like a lot grayer than I thought. Maybe that's just me. The back is like very gray. I thought it was blue. But oh well. Anyway, this is like thicker than I thought it would be too. It's like 300 and something pages, I think. Let's see. It's like 320-ish pages, I think. Oh wait, no, that was a chapter from Good Girl Complex. Ooh, I'm excited about that. Okay, it's 306 pages, the actual story. So obviously, this is what I'm going to be reading today. I am going to give like a little background on like my off-campus journey, I guess. So I read The Deal for the first time last summer, and then I took like a big gap in between that book and the other books, just because I didn't have the other books, and they were kind of expensive, so I wasn't buying them, and then I ended up, my library got them. So I read the other three, The Mistake, The Score, and The Goal, in I think February or March of this year. So it hasn't been that long since I read them for the first time, so this coming out was like kind of perfect timing for me. I think it was announced like right around when I finished the Briar U series. And so yeah, in those books, Dean was definitely my favorite. I think Garrett might have been my favorite if I hadn't taken such a huge gap between the books, because I feel like when I did that I just kind of like forgot about him, which is horrible because he's really cute. I was actually skimming through The Deal last night and like just reading through his like little cute moments, and I was like, okay, no, like I definitely like him. And so I'm excited to read like their like future sort of lives. Tucker was my favorite actually in the friend group until he got his own book. The Goal was actually my least favorite book, and I think it was because of Sabrina, though. I don't think it was Tucker necessarily, just because she was like sort of like the enemy in The Score, and like I said, I really liked Dean, so the fact that he hated her, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I hate her too. And so when she was in the next book, I was kind of like, oh, like this is weird. But yeah, so I'm most excited probably for Dean and Garrett's stories. Logan's, I don't know, I really like Logan as well. Maybe I just liked all of them. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna start reading this and I will update you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm only like 30 pages in, but there's already a Westme reference and I'm just like dead. If you know me, you know I love the him series, like probably more than Off Campus, to be honest, and so I'm just like so excited. I love them so much. I'm currently reading Logan's story, but Garrett's in it a lot, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I feel like I forgot a lot about Logan's story. Like I don't remember The Mistake as much. I remember the beginning of it mostly, when he's like in her dorm room. But other than that, I don't remember a ton about it. But I love that they're like referencing Wes and Jamie, because they are like my favorite book couple ever. Sorry if it's kind of dark. This is just kind of what I'm working with right now, and filming on my phone is apparently a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, I have finished Logan's story, and honestly, like, I'm kind of surprised how short it was. It was only 65 pages, and I feel like, so when she was promoting this book, it was like there was I think the elopement, the engagement, the baby, and something else. I can't remember what the other one was, but I feel like in this first one, the thing that was supposed to be in it didn't really kind of happen in it, unless it's going to happen in one of the later stories, which like would make sense, I guess. But I'm starting the next one. I'm also surprised, for some reason I thought this book would be written in the order of the other books, like Garrett's part would be first, and then Logan's, and then Dean's, and then Tucker's, but that doesn't seem to be the case, because I just read Logan's, which was the first one, and Dean's is next, which I'm really excited about, because like I said, Dean was definitely one of my favorite in the original books, so I'm excited to get to his part now. So I'm gonna read that. I think this one might be a bit longer, but I'm excited. I do like that they're sort of like interworking all the characters into each story though. Like that was obviously Logan's story, but it also had Garrett in it a lot, and there was mention of Dean and Tucker as well. So I liked that. I forgot how much I liked like the sweetness of the boys in these books. Like they're very sort of how they talk about their girlfriends is a lot different than I feel like in a lot of books, and I really like that in these. So yeah, I'm gonna go read Dean's now. Okay, so I just finished part 2 and it was so freaking good. Oh my god. I knew Dean's was gonna be my favorite because Serena Bowen, who co-wrote him with Elle Kennedy, has been posting about Dean's section forever, and it's so funny. I almost cried reading his section. There's like this one part that I was just like, oh my god, it was so cute. And I love the references to the other characters. Like even, like I said, there was the him reference in here to Westme, but also there's so many references to like other characters from like the Briar books, and even just like side characters from the other like off-campus books, and they're just so cute. And I'm really excited about the direction that someone's story is gonna go. I think I'm gonna keep this spoiler free, and then I'll have a spoiler section at the end of the video, but I don't know whose is next. Okay, Tucker's is next, so I guess Garrett's is last, which I think I'm actually most excited for Garrett's. And so yeah, that one was, like I said, it was really cute. It was like a roller coaster. At first I wasn't sure how I was like feeling about it because it was a lot longer. Like that one ended on 148, so it was definitely longer than the first one, but I kind of felt like at the beginning it was more Sabrina and Tucker's story than Dean and Allie's, and I wasn't sure how I like vibed with that, but I think by the end it sort of came around to like, okay, this makes sense. And so now I'm starting part 3. I'm hoping to finish this whole thing today. I'm like pretty much halfway through, obviously, because I've done 2 of the 4 of the stories. But I'm hoping to finish this all tonight. So I am going to read part 3 now, and then I will update you when that one is done. I love the cover of this book. I literally can't stop looking at it. It's so pretty. Okay, so I just finished part 3, and it wasn't my favorite, but I wasn't really expecting it to be, because again, Tucker's not my fave. Well, like I said, Tucker's not bad, but I don't vibe with Sabrina, and I think reading this just made me realize it's just because we're very different people. Like, it's nothing to do with like the writing or anything. It's just her as a person is not someone I think that I would get along with. But I'm starting part 4, which is Garrett's, and I'm so excited. I feel like this is going to be my favorite right now. Dean's is my favorite, but it's been like building up to this one, and I just feel like this is going to be the best one. So yeah, I'm gonna read that one. So I just finished it, and I'm like kind of sad now. Garrett's story was really good, definitely my favorite. Dean's definitely my second favorite, and then probably Logan, and then Tucker, which is probably close to my favorite order for the first books anyway, so that's kind of funny. I didn't read the chapter at the end from the new book, The Good Girl Complex. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Am I the only one that I feel like if I read, like, I'm like, why would I want to read one chapter of a book, you know? Like, I'm like, then I'm just gonna really want that book, and it's not out yet till like February, so I'm like not gonna read that, even though I am really excited for that book. I think that may actually, for me, it may be more up my alley than Off Campus to begin with, because it's like small town, like I think it's like a lake town too, which is like right up my alley, in like a college sort of setting. So again, all the things I like in a book. Yeah, like I said, this was really good. Obviously 5 stars. I feel like I knew that going into this, that like no matter what Elle Kennedy wrote about them, it was gonna be 5 stars, because it's just like, I kept thinking about it while I was reading it, and it's like how I'll go back and watch like Friends or Gilmore Girls for like the 700th time, and like it just, you sort of feel like a sense of like home, things like that, I guess. Like when I turn those things on, it's not because I like necessarily want to watch them, but it's just like sort of comforting to have it on, and that's sort of what I feel like these books are like, is they're just sort of like comforting to read. Like they're very sort of not stressful to read, I guess. Like they're very fun and easy to read, and I think that's just why they do so well, is a lot of people need that right now, and so this book fit right in with that. I'm sort of surprised this book even exists, to be honest, because I swear Elle Kennedy has been saying she wasn't gonna like write anything else in the Briar universe for like a long time now, so this book just like sort of came out of nowhere. But I'm obviously glad it exists, and I'm sorry if the lighting is like horrible. This is why I never film at nighttime anymore. But again, I really love this one. 5 stars. Probably like not my favorite book in the series, but I don't think it's really designed to be sort of your favorite book in the series because of its basically just epilogues. I will say, when this was originally promoted, I think it was sort of being promoted as 4 epilogues, like 1 for each book almost, like 1 for the deal, 1 for the mistake, whereas I feel like this was actually more just 4 epilogues of the off-campus series as a whole. Not that that's like bad or anything, I just didn't feel like that was sort of how they were written. It just like, especially there's one in here especially that has a lot of the other characters in their story, which is obviously like really great, but it just didn't feel specific to that book. But I mean, like I said, that's totally fine. It's just not what I thought it was going to be. Now I'm going to get into the spoilers, so if you want to leave, now's your time to do so. Like I said, Garrett's was my favorite story. I honestly thought that she was just gonna tell him she was pregnant and he was gonna be excited and he was gonna be like, yeah, that's great, and she was gonna be like having worried for nothing. And so when he got like mad that she was like, he wasn't mad that she's pregnant, but he's mad that she didn't tell him that she was pregnant. And so I was kind of like, whoa, like that's not what I was expecting to sort of go down. And so that was sort of interesting. I really liked Logan and Grace's like story, but like I said, I thought it was weird that they're like, there's just ends and they're like, yeah, we're getting eloped, but I kind of thought that that would be part of the story, like, because they said that each one would have, like, it was a wedding, a proposal, an elopement, and a surprise pregnancy. I sort of figured the elopement would be a bigger plot point in the story as opposed to like just the end of their story, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, Tucker's story, like I said, wasn't my favorite. It wasn't bad, like, by any means. Like, don't think that I'm, like, hating on it, but it's just, it wasn't my favorite. I don't know, I really like the couple that they were, but I can't remember their names now, the 2 guys, Bruce and, I want to say Kevin, maybe? I liked them, and their sort of dynamic with Tucker and Sabrina did sort of grow on me a little bit. I just feel like she's, like, too uptight for me. And like maybe I'm just like more of a Tucker kind of person where I'm more like laid back and chill, and her just like uptightness bothers me. But yeah, it was really good. Like I said, not my favorite, but like not that it was bad. And the second one was Dean's, which again, really loved. I think, you know, Elle Kennedy could write literally anything about Dean and I would read it and love it because he's just my favorite person. I will say, this is like totally random that I just thought of this, I don't remember Garrett being so cocky in the deal, but I think he was, and I just like forgot about it. I also forgot about the whole thing with his dad, which is like just me like forgetting that that happened. But yeah, this book is really good. Again, gave it 5 stars, really liked it. And so that is everything for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new book videos every single week, and I will see you next time.